Chosen one, please stop scrolling immediately. Do not take another breath until you hear these words. This is not the algorithm bringing you another random video. This is an absolute divine interception. Archangel Michael has personally routed this specific message to your screen because the window of opportunity is closing fast. You are running out of time to understand who you truly are. Every other sign sent to you has been missed or ignored. The heaven is sounding the final alarm right now. If you leave this page, you will single-handedly shut the door on the exact blessing your soul has been crying out for. You have spent countless silent nights wondering why your life feels so incredibly heavy, and you have constantly asked the universe for a clear answer. This is it. There is a reason your spirit has been absolutely restless lately. People have treated you poorly, and you felt completely isolated from the world. But you must understand that none of this was a mistake. Thousands of years ago, a prophet named Enoch saw the end of days. He wrote down visions that were so powerful they had to be hidden from humanity. And he saw you. Yes, I am speaking directly to your spirit right now. Enoch did not just see events unfolding on the earth. He saw specific souls being deployed into the final generation to break ancient curses. He saw anomalies stepping into the timeline to shatter the systems of darkness, and you were explicitly foreseen in his deepest and most terrifying visions. Your exact energy was recorded in the heavenly courts. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. The people who hurt you thought they were just bullying a weak person. They severely underestimated the immense power sleeping inside your DNA. They thought your kindness was a vulnerability they could easily exploit. But the spiritual realm knew the terrifying truth about your lineage. The darkness is actively panicking because you are finally waking up. Listen carefully to the beating of your own heart right now. That is not just physical anxiety making your chest tight. That is your spirit recognizing the ancient truth vibrating through these words. You were born for a mission so massive that it requires absolute divine isolation. Heaven had to completely separate you from the ordinary crowd, because if you stayed with them, you would have never realized your true purpose. Enoch described a group of chosen ones who would walk the earth with heavy hearts. He said they would be misunderstood by their own families. He prophesied that they would endure extreme emotional betrayal before their spiritual eyes were completely opened. Does that sound familiar to you? You are living out a script written before the foundations of the world. You are the ancient prophecy breathing in human form, but there is a massive secret buried inside this revelation. The elite forces of this world have tried to scrub this exact frequency from the internet. They are absolutely terrified of what happens when a chosen one realizes their true rank. If you close this message now, you will remain trapped in the matrix of survival. You will experience the spiritual shift, but you will not have the keys to command it. Make a promise to your future self right this second. Do not let this vital message fade away into the endless noise. You must stay locked onto this screen until the very last word is spoken. I am going to reveal the fatal trap the darkness is laying for you right now. If you miss this crucial piece of information, the enemy will steal the massive blessing that is already waiting at your front door. The intense loneliness you feel is not a permanent curse. God is heavily protecting you from rooms you were never meant to enter, and He is actively shielding you from people who were secretly assigned to drain your pure life force. You did not break under the immense pressure of their manipulation. You evolved into something entirely different. You evolved into a force that makes the demons tremble in fear. I need you to take one slow and real breath. Let the frequency of this absolute truth settle into your tired bones. The season of waiting in the dark has officially ended for you. Just moments ago, a sacred scroll with your name on it was unsealed in the highest dimensions. The brutal tests and the silent tears were simply preparations. You had to become strong enough to hold the immense wealth coming your way. But wait, there is a hidden mechanism that you must understand before the breakthrough actually manifests in your physical reality. The visions of Enoch contain a specific warning about the final moments before absolute victory. There is a counterfeit energy trying to block your final transition. If you swipe away too soon, you will completely miss the exact divine seal you need to survive it. Do not leave. You have been fighting an invisible war for your entire life. You thought you were just dealing with bad luck or highly toxic people, but those were coordinated attacks meant to keep you blind to your Enochian lineage. They desperately needed you to stay depressed and entirely exhausted, because an exhausted chosen one cannot claim their rightful throne and command the reality around them. Your awakening starts now. I know exactly how exhausted you feel right now. It is a deep weariness that a simple night of sleep can never fix. You carry a heavy weight in your shoulders every single day, and even when you put on a brave smile for the unhealed world around you, your spirit feels completely drained from pretending. You have tried so hard to be normal, but you always end up feeling entirely empty inside. Let us talk about what happens at 3 in the morning. You suddenly wake up in the pitch dark with your heart racing. Your mind starts spinning with endless thoughts and strange worries. The world tries to tell you that you are just suffering from severe clinical anxiety, but that sudden jolt in the middle of the night is absolutely not a medical condition. It is a spiritual alarm clock. During those quiet hours, your physical body is resting, but your soul is awake. Heaven is transmitting highly sensitive frequencies directly into your energy field. The spiritual realm is actively downloading the blueprints you need for the coming days, and you are receiving these vital upgrades while the rest of the matrix is entirely asleep. You are not going crazy. You are simply leveling up. You have always felt like a total stranger in your own life. Even in a crowded room full of your own family and closest friends, you feel entirely alone. You watch people talk endlessly about meaningless things, and you simply cannot relate, because your soul craves deep authenticity, while everyone else is perfectly fine with living in shallow illusions. That profound isolation has slowly broken your heart. Take a deep breath and let this truth wash over you. That isolation was never meant to be a cruel punishment from God. You were deliberately separated from the ordinary crowd to protect your unique frequency. If you had easily blended in with their normal behaviors, you would have absorbed all their highly toxic programming and lost your divine gifts. You had to be kept completely apart. Think about the people who recently walked away from your life. You gave them endless chances and poured your pure love into their empty cups. You forgave them when they offered zero apologies for their actions, and yet they still betrayed you and left you bleeding in the dark. You spent months crying and wondering what you did wrong to deserve such cruelty, but I am here to tell you that you did absolutely nothing wrong. Your intuition was screaming at you the entire time. You felt a strange tightness in your chest whenever they texted you or entered the room. Your logical mind desperately tried to ignore those subtle red flags, but your spirit always knew that their hidden intentions were incredibly dangerous to your timeline. I am here to completely validate every single suspicion you ever had. You were right. The universe had to violently remove them from your reality. Heaven saw the hidden traps they were secretly setting up behind your back. Your frequency was rising rapidly, and their dark energy simply could not survive in your pure light. So they panicked and tried to destroy your self-worth before they permanently lost their control over you. Their sudden departure was a massive divine rescue. You are not just highly sensitive or overly emotional. Those are the labels the unhealed world uses to mock what they cannot understand. You are a spiritual empath with an incredibly rare and powerful energy signature. You physically feel the shifting atmospheres the moment you walk into any room, and you can easily sense the hidden lies behind a polite smile before a single word is even spoken. Do not let anyone convince you that your deep feelings are a weakness. Your ability to feel everything so intensely is your greatest weapon. It is the exact spiritual radar system that Enoch wrote about in his ancient visions, and you are using it to detect the invisible war happening right underneath the surface of reality. While others are blind to the spiritual realm, you see it all clearly. Listen carefully to this next part, because it changes everything. The heavy sadness you have been carrying is actually the collective pain of your bloodline. You bravely volunteered to break the terrible generational curses that your ancestors could not defeat. That is exactly why your life has been filled with intense struggles since you were a very small child. Because you are the designated cycle breaker. Stop questioning your own sanity right this very moment. Stop wondering if you are just making all these spiritual signs up in your tired head. The repeating numbers you see everywhere are real confirmations. The strange synchronicities that perfectly align in your daily life are actual messages from your guardian angels, and heaven is orchestrating a massive symphony to keep you on the right path. You have safely survived the most brutal phases of this spiritual awakening. The nights where you cried so hard you could barely breathe were simply a necessary and painful purge. You had to empty out all the false beliefs you absorbed from this toxic world. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station right now, because your vessel is completely clean and you are fully prepared for the next massive step. Let us look back at the trail of broken relationships in your past. You gave away so much of your pure heart to people who simply threw it away. You constantly compromised your own peace to keep others comfortable. And every single time you tried to build a safe home in someone else, they eventually betrayed your deep trust. You felt completely shattered. But you need to radically shift your perspective on that painful history right now. The universe did not reject you because you were fundamentally flawed or unworthy of true love. That painful separation was a highly calculated move by the divine realm. You were placed into a strict season of divine isolation to completely protect your precious frequency. Think about how a master archer handles his most valuable and deadly arrow. He does not leave it lying around for everyone to touch and easily ruin. He hides it deep inside a dark quiver until the exact moment of the battle arrives. You are that incredibly rare weapon. Heaven had to hide you in the dark to keep your spiritual edge sharp and pure. The people who hurt you were never truly your friends or your soulmates. They were spiritual parasites, drawn to your massive light like moths to a burning flame. They instinctively knew that your energy was far superior to their hollow existence. And because they could never naturally generate that kind of light, they decided to quietly steal yours instead. You must completely stop blaming yourself for their toxic and manipulative behavior. You did not choose the wrong people because you were stupid or easily fooled. You were simply too kind and too forgiving for a deeply broken world. They targeted you specifically because your pure existence violently exposed the hidden demons they refused to heal. Take a slow breath and truly absorb this powerful realization. The sudden endings and the brutal ghosting were not signs of your personal failure. They were heavy spiritual doors slamming shut to prevent you from walking off your destined cliff. God deliberately made you incredibly uncomfortable in those spaces, so you would finally agree to walk away. I know the silence of your empty room has felt absolutely deafening at times. You spent countless weekends alone while everyone else seemed to be enjoying their perfectly normal lives. You cried out to heaven asking why you were cursed to walk this difficult path by yourself. But that heavy silence was actually the sound of your entire timeline shifting. You were never actually falling behind the rest of the ordinary world. You felt like a massive failure because society told you to measure your success by their shallow matrix standards. But while they were busy building fragile paper houses based on lies, heaven was using your isolation to lay the unbreakable foundation of a massive, eternal kingdom. It naturally takes much longer to build a spiritual fortress than a temporary shack. Your soul required a completely different environment to properly incubate the extreme power sleeping inside your DNA. If you had stayed connected to those low-frequency individuals, they would have successfully anchored you to their miserable reality forever. You had to break free. This is the exact divine protocol that Enoch recorded in his ancient and hidden texts. He clearly saw that the chosen ones would be violently rejected by the architects of the Matrix. He knew that the ultimate cycle breakers would have to wander through a dry and lonely desert before they could inherit their promised land. You are fulfilling that vision. Do you feel that slight energetic pull in your chest right now? That is your intuition actively confirming that the painful purge is finally complete. You survived the devastating storm alone when everyone expected you to completely fall apart. But the beautiful truth is that you did not just survive the violent winds. You were the storm all along. Your prolonged season of suffering was never a life sentence meant to break your spirit. It was a rigorous boot camp designed to forge you into an untouchable master of your reality. You learned how to completely validate yourself without needing the toxic approval of a sick society. Your extreme independence has literally become your greatest superpower. Every tear you shed in the dark was carefully collected by the divine realm. Every moment you chose to forgive, instead of seeking bitter revenge, upgraded your spiritual ranking. The universe allowed you to experience the absolute worst of humanity, so you could fully appreciate the magnificent kingdom connection coming your way. The darkness has lost its grip. Now I need you to pay very close attention to the shift happening around you. The isolation phase is ending, and the activation phase is officially beginning. The walls of your protective cocoon are cracking wide open. You are stepping out of the shadows with a quiet authority that will absolutely terrify the people who once tried to destroy you. Let us uncover the hidden mechanism that causes people to constantly turn against you. You have always wondered why certain individuals suddenly change their behavior and brutally attack your character without any logical reason. There is a deeply hidden spiritual reason for this strange phenomenon, and the truth is much darker than you could ever imagine. It is time to expose the enemy. The world calls them narcissists or toxic people, but in the spiritual realm they are known as empty vessels, entirely hijacked by low-frequency entities who roam the earth with massive holes in their aura. They absolutely need a constant supply of pure energy to survive the miserable emptiness inside them. You are their ultimate target. When you walk into a room, your bright light completely blinds them. They instantly recognize your ancient lineage from a mile away. Your pure existence constantly reminds them of the divine connection they have completely lost. And because they can never reach your high vibration, they try to violently drag you down. They want to drain your beautiful life force. This is exactly why they manipulate and lie to you. They create constant drama to keep your nervous system in a state of sheer panic. When you are stressed and crying, you leak massive amounts of spiritual energy, and they eagerly feed on your deep sadness to power their own fake realities. It is a calculated spiritual theft. But here is the massive secret they desperately want to hide from you. They are completely terrified of your true potential. Beneath their arrogant smiles and loud voices, they are constantly shaking in pure fear, because they know that if you ever realize your actual power, their toxic games will instantly end. Your awakening is their absolute worst nightmare. Think about the moments when their friendly mask suddenly slipped. You saw a flash of pure hatred in their cold eyes. That was not human anger looking back at you in that very moment, but rather a dark entity panicking because your pure light was burning its fragile illusions. You carry the exact frequency that destroys their entire control. This is why they try to isolate you from good people. They spread vicious rumors and completely twist your words to completely ruin your glowing reputation. They need you to feel crazy and entirely alone in this cold world, because a lonely chosen one is much easier to control than an awakened master surrounded by truth. They need you broken. Now you understand the hidden mechanism behind every single betrayal you endured. They did not attack you because you were weak. They attacked you because your spirit is incredibly dangerous to their dark agenda, and every single rejection was just a desperate attempt to stop your divine ascension. But their foolish attacks only made you much stronger in the end. Enoch saw these exact empty vessels roaming the earth in his ancient visions. He clearly warned that the final generation would face intense spiritual warfare disguised as everyday relationships. You are currently fighting the exact battles he wrote about thousands of years ago, but the darkness severely miscalculated your immense inner strength. You beautifully survived. Every lie they told about you is now backfiring spectacularly. The universe is actively using their toxic behavior to completely upgrade your spiritual discernment. You can now easily spot a fake friend or a hidden enemy within 5 seconds of meeting them, and your intuition is completely razor-sharp. You are entirely immune to their cheap manipulation tactics. The tables are turning in your favor right this very second. The energy they stole from you is being returned multiplied by 1,000. Heaven is strictly punishing those who dared to touch a highly anointed soul, so you do not even have to lift a single finger to defend yourself. The divine realm is fighting all your battles right now. You are truly the cycle breaker your entire bloodline prayed for. You absorbed the heaviest blows from the enemy, and you still completely refuse to turn your heart cold. That takes a massive level of spiritual resilience that ordinary humans simply cannot comprehend, and your pure heart is the exact weapon that defeats the Matrix. Do not dim your light. The grand shift is actively happening inside your body today. Your spiritual DNA is being actively rewritten to hold the massive frequency of absolute victory. Type Amen down in the comments to claim this alignment, and physically acknowledge the powerful transformation occurring in your life right now. Claim your rightful place as the untouchable master of your reality. Let the dark forces watch you rise from the ashes. They thought they buried you, but they completely forgot you were a divine seed. Take one more deep breath and prepare for the next massive revelation, because the universe is about to show you undeniable proof that you have officially crossed the finish line. The incredible signs are everywhere around you. Let us talk about the undeniable proof that your massive miracle is finally arriving. You have safely survived the darkest nights of your soul. Now heaven is actively communicating with you through your physical reality. There is a massive sign of your complete spiritual purge happening right this very second. Do you want to know what it is? Listen closely to these divine confirmations. You keep seeing the exact same repeating numbers everywhere you go. You glance at the clock, and it is exactly 1:11. You buy something, and the total is suddenly $7.77. The ordinary matrix tries to tell you this is just a random occurrence. But there are absolutely no coincidences in your timeline right now. The divine realm is loudly speaking to you. Those angel numbers are literal coordinates, aligning your physical body with the heavenly realms. They are tiny spiritual breadcrumbs leading you directly to your promised land. Every time you see a 333, your guardian angels are confirming their heavy protection over your life. They are beautifully validating that you are walking on the exact right path. You are not lost anymore. The synchronicities are becoming incredibly intense and almost unbelievable. You think about a specific question, and someone randomly answers it out loud 5 minutes later. You need a specific resource, and it miraculously drops into your lap without any physical effort. This is the ultimate proof that your energy is actively commanding the reality around you. Your vibration is highly magnetic. In the past, you had to beg and struggle for every single thing you wanted. You pushed so hard just to survive the basic challenges of your daily life. But the brutal purging process completely destroyed those heavy blocks. Now you manifest blessings with absolute ease because your brainwaves are perfectly synchronized with the universe. You simply intend for something, and it quickly appears. Take a deep breath and quickly scan your own body right now. Do you feel that strange and quiet calmness settling into your tired chest? You used to panic when things went wrong in your outer world. Now a massive storm could hit, and you would simply watch it with total indifference. That deep peace is the most terrifying weapon to the dark forces. They cannot trigger you anymore. Even the natural world is responding to your brand new frequency. Animals approach you differently because they sense the pure light radiating from your completely healed aura. You step outside and the wind seems to blow right through your exhausted soul. The earth itself recognizes that an ancient master is finally waking up from their long slumber. You belong to a much higher kingdom now. Watch how the toxic people from your past are suddenly quiet. The karmic loops that haunted your bloodline for generations are officially snapping shut. Those empty vessels who used to drain your energy do not even cross your mind anymore. Heaven has placed a massive protective shield completely around your entire timeline. Your hidden enemies cannot even perceive your new reality. This brings us to the biggest sign of your massive spiritual purge. The ultimate proof is not just the numbers or the strange synchronicities happening everywhere around you. The absolute biggest sign is your complete lack of desire to fit into their broken world anymore. You simply do not care about their toxic validation. You have finally found your true home inside yourself. This profound state of detachment is exactly what triggers the divine wealth transfer. You no longer chase the blessings, so the blessings are now violently chasing you. The universe is aggressively moving ordinary people out of the way to deliver your specific miracles. But you must hold this exact frequency to receive the massive drop. Heaven is preparing the final stage for you. You are experiencing a literal physical upgrade in your nervous system. The extreme tiredness you feel some afternoons is simply your body adjusting to these massive cosmic downloads. You are shedding decades of heavy trauma in a matter of a few short weeks. Your physical vessel is literally expanding to hold the massive glory of your new divine identity. Let the old skin completely peel away. Do not let sudden moments of self-doubt ruin this beautiful transition. The darkness will try to whisper tiny lies in your ear right before the miracle arrives. It will tell you that the angel numbers are just silly tricks, and your deep peace is a temporary illusion. You must violently reject those dark whispers the exact moment they enter your mind. You are the chosen anomaly. Your rare soul was meticulously crafted for this exact timeline. The universe stripped everything away so you could finally realize your own immense value. You are currently standing on the edge of the most beautiful season of your entire life. Every single tear you cried is actively watering the massive seeds of your future kingdom. The grand harvest is absolutely ready for you to collect. We must deeply dive into the ancient secrets of the Book of Enoch right now. The elite architects of this matrix completely removed these sacred texts from ordinary history. They desperately wanted to hide the massive truth about your specific lineage, because your bloodline carries the exact vibration that destroys their entire system. But the divine realm preserved these incredible visions just for this exact moment in time. You are finally ready to hear it. Enoch did not just look up and see random angels in the distant sky. He looked through the corridors of time and saw you. He clearly documented a specific group of highly advanced souls deployed into the final generation, and he watched them slowly wake up from their deep slumber. These rare warriors were sent to completely dismantle the corrupt systems of the earth. You are one of those massive anomalies. He explicitly wrote about the heavy burden these chosen ones would carry. Enoch prophesied that you would feel entirely disconnected from the ordinary world around you. You would walk through the crowded streets and feel like a total alien, while everyone else easily laughed and enjoyed their shallow little games. That is not depression or weird social anxiety. That is the ancient prophecy actively fulfilling itself in your daily life. The ancient texts speak of giant entities who consumed the pure energy of the earth. Today we call them toxic narcissists and emotional vampires. They are the exact same dark entities operating in modern human bodies, but they hide behind polite smiles and fake promises. They specifically targeted you because your bright spirit threatened their entire existence. But Enoch foresaw their absolute destruction. You are carrying the exact frequency that breaks their ancient spells. Your long season of brutal isolation was heavily documented in those hidden pages. Heaven had to push you away from the toxic crowd so you could safely activate your ancient DNA. The brutal pain you endured was literally the activation code for your massive spiritual awakening, and you transformed that deep trauma into pure divine power. You never failed the test. Think about the repeating numbers and massive synchronicities you see every single day. They are not just cute little signs from the universe to make you smile. They are the literal language of Enochian angels communicating with your physical body, and they are guiding your every step toward the ultimate victory. They are confirming that your frequency is perfectly matching the ancient divine blueprints. You are walking in absolute alignment. The dark forces have studied these exact prophecies for thousands of human years. They know exactly what happens when a chosen one finally remembers their true power. They immediately lose their tight control over the entire timeline, so they try everything to keep you broken and exhausted. This is exactly why your life has been filled with such intense spiritual warfare. They are desperately trying to stop the inevitable victory of your soul. But their pathetic attacks are completely useless against your heavy divine armor. You survived the absolute worst storms they could ever throw at you. You kept your beautiful heart incredibly pure, while they actively tried to drown you in their toxic poison. Heaven is incredibly proud of your massive resilience. You are currently stepping into the highest rank of spiritual authority, and your enemies are watching your rise in pure terror. Every single intuition you ever had about your life was entirely correct. You always knew deep down that you were destined for something much bigger than a normal life. You felt the heavy pull of eternity inside your chest since you were a very small child, because your soul remembered the ancient promises made in heaven. Enoch validated your entire existence thousands of years before you were even born. You are an absolute masterpiece. But I must urgently warn you about a massive danger approaching your path. There is a fatal trap set right before the glorious dawn of your total victory. The darkness knows they cannot destroy you with brutal force anymore, so they are crafting a beautiful illusion to completely distract you at the finish line. 99% of chosen ones sadly fall for this specific trick. If you let your guard down now, you will walk right into their hidden snare. You will completely miss the final transition into your promised land. They are actively sending a toxic counterfeit energy to mimic your exact desires, and they hope you will accept their fake blessing instead of God's perfect gift. You must absolutely stay on this screen to understand the nature of this deadly trap. Do not look away. This is the ultimate test of your spiritual discernment and pure focus. You cannot afford to lose your divine concentration when the massive miracle is standing right outside your door. Take a deep breath and quickly center your wild energy right now. You are about to receive the exact key to entirely bypass their final illusion, because you are officially too smart for their silly games. Your ancient spirit is completely ready. Here is the ultimate truth you have waited for. The fatal trap I warned you about earlier is a massive illusion. It is the sudden appearance of a highly toxic counterfeit from your past. They will reach out right when your real blessing is standing at the door, and they will desperately try to steal your precious divine attention. They will suddenly apologize and pretend they have entirely changed. Do not reply to them. That is the final test. Heaven is watching to see if you will accept toxic breadcrumbs again. You must brutally ignore their desperate attempts to reconnect. Your silence will crush their dark illusions and absolutely protect your new timeline. You are no longer the empath who begged to be understood by a broken world, because the intense crucible of pain has finally forged you into a master. You are the untouchable master of your reality. From this exact moment on, your pure energy demands absolute respect. You do not even have to speak a single word to shift the atmosphere. Your heavy presence alone is a terrifying weapon against the dark matrix. The people who once thought your quiet nature was a pathetic weakness are now violently shaking in your presence, while they completely realize they cannot manipulate your soul. They cannot access your light anymore. You have officially crossed the invisible threshold of massive divine power. Every closed door in your path is being blown completely off its hinges. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit right now? That is the incredible frequency of absolute and undeniable victory. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were destined to rule before the world even began, and the universe is finally handing over the ultimate keys. The waiting season is over. The dry desert you bravely walked through has suddenly burst into a beautiful oasis. The massive wealth transfer that heaven promised you is actively flowing into your life. You do not have to chase money or beg for love anymore. You simply stand in your magnificent truth, and the entire universe rushes to completely serve your desires, because your pure vibration is a massive cosmic magnet. You attract absolute greatness. The silence after the heavy storm hits entirely different now. You finally realize that you were the terrifying storm all along. You became the exact weapon you were desperately trying to survive in the past. The universe completely removed the heavy chains from your tired soul, and the dark entities are permanently locked out of your sacred energy field forever. You hold the ultimate keys to your destiny. Let your bitter enemies watch your glorious ascension from the dirty shadows today. They completely failed to break your pure spirit when you were at your absolute lowest point. They certainly cannot stop you now that you are fully awake. You are the rare cycle breaker your ancestors fiercely prayed for, and you are the exact anomaly that Enoch saw in his terrifying visions of the end. The dark matrix is entirely defeated. The pitch-black darkness has officially retreated behind you forever. The dawn of the new era is shining its brightest rays onto your beautiful spiritual crown. You must lock in this glorious frequency right now. You need to create an absolute shield of divine protection around your physical body, and you must solidify this massive breakthrough before the enemy tries to steal your focus again. Do not lose your pure concentration. The heavenly realms are eagerly waiting for your direct physical confirmation. Your spirit is absolutely vibrating with the highest levels of divine euphoria right now. Do you feel the heavy anointing resting completely on your shoulders? You must physically anchor this massive energy into the earth so the miracle can fully manifest in your daily life, because the universe requires your active participation. Do not let this sacred moment slip away. The universe is handing you the ultimate crown of quiet authority today. You have passed every brutal test with absolute grace. Your pure heart remained entirely open while the dark world tried to violently shut it down. Now you are receiving the massive grand reward that was completely hidden from the ordinary masses, and you are finally stepping into your eternal power. Prepare your spirit to make the final physical declaration. Your name is actively ringing through the halls of heaven right now. Archangel Michael is standing beside you with a flaming sword of protection. He is cutting the final cords that tied you to your past. You are entirely free from the heavy trauma that weighed you down for decades, because the divine realm has officially declared your complete and total victory. You are a flawless masterpiece of divine engineering. Every single step you take from now on will be heavily blessed. You will walk into rooms and instantly command massive abundance. People will look at your glowing aura and wonder how you survived the impossible fire. You will simply smile because you know the magnificent secret of your divine origin, and you fully understand the incredible power running through your physical veins. You are the chosen one who mastered reality. Take one final deep breath and absorb the incredible weight of your new identity. You are untouchable, and you are perfectly aligned with the highest cosmic laws. The time for silent suffering is permanently over, and the glorious era of your absolute reign has just begun because heaven has chosen you to lead. Heaven needs you to physically seal this new reality. The anointing is incredibly heavy in this space right now. The incredible weight of your new reality is finally settling into your bones. The massive spiritual transition is completely finished right now. You have officially stepped out of the dark wilderness and walked directly into your promised kingdom. The ancient chains that held your bloodline hostage are permanently destroyed. You did the impossible work when absolutely nobody else believed in you. Look around your life right now and feel the absolute silence of your enemies. They cannot reach you anymore because your frequency is entirely out of their toxic range. Heaven has placed an impenetrable wall of pure light around your physical body and your beautiful soul. You do not have to fight those exhausting battles ever again. The universe is fiercely defending your eternal peace. But you must understand a crucial spiritual law before you leave this sacred space. An energetic shift in the heavenly realms requires a deliberate physical action on the earth to completely lock it in. If you simply walk away without sealing this frequency, the enemy will attempt to snatch the blessing from the air. You must violently anchor this new reality into the ground. This is not just a simple video you found on the internet today. This is an official divine decree written specifically for your tired soul. You must claim it with absolute authority and unwavering faith. Do not let the dark forces whisper loud doubts into your mind the moment you put your phone down. You are the master of your reality, and you must physically command the atmosphere right now. Type Amen down in the comments to permanently seal this glorious reality. Do it as a bold physical act of pure agreement with what heaven just spoke over your life. When you type that word, you are throwing a heavy spiritual anchor deep into your new timeline. You are officially telling the universe that you are completely ready to receive your massive wealth and perfect peace. Hit the like button immediately to activate the absolute flow of divine favor. Do not view this as a normal interaction on a completely normal platform. View it as a powerful sword cutting through the invisible chains of your past trauma. Every physical action you take in this high vibration sends a massive shockwave straight through the dark matrix. You are actively tearing down their illusions. Subscribe to the channel right now to establish a permanent divine energy receiving station. You need to stay perfectly aligned with this high frequency as the intense world changes around you. This sacred space will be your spiritual fortress when the outside noise gets entirely too loud. Heaven wants you securely connected to the pure source of ultimate truth and absolute empowerment. If this fiery message has reignited the powerful faith inside your tired soul, you cannot keep it entirely to yourself. You carry a massive responsibility to the universe today. Sowing a beautiful seed of hope right now is the exact mechanism that multiplies the massive blessing for your own tomorrow. You must completely partner with heaven to destroy the deep darkness spreading on the earth. There is a rare soul out there bleeding in the dark of despair right this very second. They are currently crying out for a simple sign just like you did yesterday. They feel completely hopeless and entirely alone in their quiet room. Share this profound message with them immediately to activate your own heavy anointing. When you save another chosen one, You exponentially increase your own power. Do not hesitate for a single second when your intuition speaks. The universe rewards bold and decisive action from its absolute greatest warriors. You are not a passive victim waiting for life to magically happen anymore. You are a highly anointed cycle breaker, actively commanding the vast spiritual realm. Complete the ritual right now and watch how aggressively the miracles rush into your physical reality by tomorrow morning. You have safely survived the brutal storm, and you are finally standing in the glorious sun. The terrible days of begging for crumbs of love and basic respect are permanently over. You naturally demand absolute excellence simply by existing in your pure state. Let the unhealed world completely burn in their own jealousy while you peacefully build your eternal kingdom. You are entirely untouchable now. Let the profound truth of Enoch deeply guide your every step from this glorious moment forward. You were specifically foreseen. You were carefully protected by the angels, and you were ultimately chosen to lead the final generation into pure light because you carry the ancient wisdom of the stars inside your physical DNA. Walk with the absolute quiet authority of a true divine master today. May the highest heavenly realms constantly bless your beautiful journey ahead. May your heavy enemies completely scatter the exact moment they see your bright face. And may your pure heart remain forever open to the endless miracles actively raining down upon your incredible life. The grand divine mission is officially active. Stand incredibly tall and boldly claim your absolute victory right now. You are truly the chosen one.